was one of the craziest years of my 4 years here, and it was kind of a point where you were ready to be done. You know, not a lot of years you finish the season and you're like, you know what, I'm ready.
I went with Coach Packard and when she met with the team, and obviously that was really emotional for everybody, for the players, for Coach. I think all of us. It was tough, and so from there I just told the team that, that I understood there was going to be a period where they were going to be disappointed that Coach Packard was leaving, and that we would do everything in our power to find the best basketball coach we could for them. And I told them I'd follow up with them in a week, and that they just had to be patient and have some confidence in us in that process. We met up in the third floor up there in the conference room, and just explained to them what our process would be, what it would look like, what a timeline would look like, and gave them an opportunity to say, this is your one chance to tell me what you're looking for, what you think you need.
We needed someone who could be hard on us, someone who could push us and challenge us, but also someone that was going to encourage and lift us up.
It was a good experience because I think we all could just be honest with them and really reflect on what we wanted, and I think we all trusted him that he would find the right person for our program.
I was very pleased with how transparent they were, and how strong of a desire they had to maintain the great relationships they had, and you could tell it was really strong being in there, how much they cared about each other, how much they cared about Coach, but how much they wanted to continue to build on the floor and be successful.
Once you learn to live, a prayer life and try to discern where the Spirit guides you, you got to be open to it, and you can't shut those doors.
Both, at the time Amy Stuckey was the Associate Athletic Director, and she and I had been on countless searches together, and she'd done more than I. We both were in agreement it was the deepest and most talented candidate pool we had ever seen.
The interview with the committee was really good. I mean, I just love hearing passion, excitement from people.
I just remember he was very clear on who he is and very clear on the way he liked to do things and the way he thought was right. There was very little gray area. There was very little indecisiveness. It was like, hey, this is how I do it, this is how I run the program. And everything that he said lined up perfectly with what his references said. And
so I think that they were just excited about the opportunity of me coming on board and being an old veteran compared to that committee I had. I can't remember if anybody was older than me, I don't think so. But, just them wanting to learn. A couple people said there like, hey, I can't wait to talk to you more about why you do this or how you recruit. Sonia and I were both very relaxed. We got to the hotel and all those things, and then morning came, and then Wendy picked up Sonia, and I got a text right away. Oh, she's awesome. If she represents Taylor, we're coming. All this kind of stuff, and I became a little bit uncomfortable because I had to wear a tie and a jacket and button up the top button, but that's probably the only uncomfortable thing I had about this visit was dressing up. 15 minutes in.
Really?
15 minutes. She knew she wanted to come here.
What did that text message say, and what? And
she said, I said how things are going, because I was waiting to come in here. I said, hey, how things going? She goes, I love them. I said, we're coming to Taylor. And I just replied back something funny like, hey, I haven't interviewed yet. He goes, oh, don't you worry. You're going to be yourself, and people are going to love you, blah, blah, blah. What a beautiful wife says to words of affirmation guy who doesn't really have words of affirmation.
I picked 4 of them to meet with the candidates, and I told them hey, the main purpose is to give these candidates a view into the team more than you interviewing them. I think it probably ended up being a little bit of both. I think they certainly had a vested interest.
We were told not to say anything, which was really hard, but us four had to keep it to ourselves. But we were all super excited about the candidates.
Going in, I mean, a lot of nerves. Like, we had already met with our one candidate, so this was like, you know, the last go around. And we knew that it was going to be one of these two guys.
Yeah, I remember that moment like it was yesterday.
Oh yeah, I remember the table that we were at.
We were sitting at a table at Ivanhoe's.
Right in the front, right by the, in front of like the food counter.
And Coach walked in, Sonia walked in, and she made you feel like she had known you for like 10 years.
Within the first seconds, he blew us away.
He introduced himself.
We went to like shake his hand, saying like, I'm Cassidy.
And then he went around to each player and he said our major, our name, and he said like an impressive stat that we had from the previous year.
I think for me, it just got me excited for if this guy did come in, coach us, lead us, that he was going to care more about just basketball, care more about just like, oh, you're number 15, you know, you play this position, but he knew more of it. And that was just, he hadn't even met us yet, and he already knew that.
Right after the meeting, we loved Coach.
I remember we all texted each other like, what do you guys think, you know? And right when I got in the car with Josie, I said, he needs to like come here. And I actually texted Coach Gould right after, or emailed him, I think, and said, in my subject line, I said, hire him. So I don't even know if I said anything else in the email. I think I just said hire him and left it at that because I figured that that'd be enough.
They were pretty strong on how much they liked him. That doesn't mean that they didn't like the other candidates, because again, we had some great candidates, but he just connected with them.
And so we left there. Sonia and I really had a tender heart for him. Sonia is more compassionate than I am, but I mean, it's still a gift she has, and she just cared about him right away, and she still does. I mean, she's to another level now. But I mean, that first initial meeting, we knew we were going to inherit motivated kids, and for a coach, that's huge.
It was exciting because he accepted it on the spot, and we'd had some really good conversations, and he knew that we had a process, and he knew we had other candidates we were interviewing. But it was just exciting because you start a process, any process, with the end in mind, and that's one thing when we got with the search committee and said, before we start looking, let's talk about what we're looking for, and you know, I think he exceeded what it is that we hope to do, and so just really excited for the student athletes on the team, and then the girls in high school that will someday come play here, and was just excited for the future of our women's basketball program.
Kyle had told me before I came for an interview that you would get an assistant coach. And so Nally was the first one I called and asked her to start praying. And that's when I told her I was interviewing at Taylor. Just because Nally played for me. Nally knows the crossroads. Nally's gifted in a lot of things I'm not. She's very creative. She's all about numbers in terms of stats and records and, you know, all those kind of things. So she does things that, one, I probably don't like to do. And we just made a great team. She became an assistant coach for me at Bethel.
He called and let me know that he had the offer, and that the full-time assistant was a real thing. He didn't have numbers and he didn't have timeline, but wanted to know if I'd be interested. I basically said, yeah, I'm in. Like, let's do this.
Now Wright's double team, wrapping a pass around that Cobb will gobble up. 90 seconds left. Wise open three ball. Got it from the left side high. Cassidy Wise is in her last three-point shots in a row, and Taylor leads 81-69. And now Cobb's going to intercept it, and she's going to be home free for a right-hand layup. And the bench goes nuts as Cobb goes accelerating to the other end. And Taylor can hold for the final shot, up 83-69. Cobb with 8. Wise three-ball left side, bang for Cassidy Wise, and Taylor leads 86-69, and then Wright will smack a long shot away, and the Trojans putting on their best performance of the year.
We gave up 40-some points, I think, in the first quarter, and then you held them to 8 second quarter. night and day. Once again, it's the defense that was my issue, and finding the right defense for this team.
They go to the national tournament every year. They were ranked, I think, 13th at the time. We hadn't really beat a ranked team yet, and we beat them by a good amount. And they play such different ball that it was like, okay, like if we can compete with them, like we can compete with a lot of teams out here. So that was, I feel like, the first run at like, okay, we have confidence to do this. And then we started beating some more ranked teams, and we're like, okay, like we're right in this.
So Goodwin with a miss. It's now 6 straight misses for Indiana Wesleyan from 3. Stratman, left block, almost travel, top of the key. Bradbury trying to go 2 for 2 from 3, and she does just that. Right corner, Becca Brooks, guarded by the shorter Katie Key. One hand pass to James, bounce pass. She slips that pass through somehow, and then Becca Brooks did the rest and laid it in. 6 to shoot, Emhoff guarding her. Bradbury from the parking lot, a 3 ball is good.
I've always had, you know, this mentality of like, I want to get to nationals. I mean, ever since freshman year, that was our goal. And I think for me, it was just saying, all right, we're one step closer to getting to nationals. And we knew we had a chance if we won that game. So for me, that was on my mind, you know. We got that game off and we're like, okay, one more and we're there, you know. So we knew we had to get to the championship to most likely go. And like I said, we knew we had to get IWU first.
So quiet in here. Wonder why. You better.
Yeah, that was a fun moment. Just to be able, you know, to celebrate like that with your best friends. You know, nothing beats it.
Honestly, everyone's throwing their water and doing crazy things. I was just kind of sitting there. I was just standing in the background like in awe, like we're going to nationals, you know, like it hadn't hit me at that point. Like, so I think for me, like everyone was celebrating. I just looked at Josie and I was like, we did it. Like we are going to nationals.
Bit strong, rebounded by Taylor. And the Trojans are on the move quickly. They want to pick up the pace here. Tried to pick up the pace last time, got the ball into Bradbury.
Taylor moves from right to left and White into the corner. Wise fakes the 3, drives right around the defender for a left-hand layup. It's 5 in a row for Wise. She just blew the doors off of Verjurge. Rakova gets it back at the top. She's open into the paint. Verjurge, left-hand hook over Bradbury. That one thrown on a shot put off across the rim. And here comes Taylor pushing it up the floor. Another opportunity for Taylor to take their first lead of the day. Wise has scored Taylor's last 5, so give it to an open Abby Brooks for 3, and Taylor leads for the first time today, 52-50, as Abby Brooks buries her second trifecta of the day. A good afternoon for Josie with 11 points. Floats it in, Bradbury right behind the defense. One dribble to set herself, but she'll lay it in with the right hand. A bucket here for Taylor. We'll give them either a 6 or 7 points advantage. Cobb hassled up near the timeline. 10 to shoot with Wise. Gets right around a defender. Left hand pulls up just inside the free throw line off target. Abby Brooks gets it and puts it up and in on an off-balance right-handed shot.
To be part of the Taylor family on and off the court is a blessing. The genuineness of people. So it's just, you wake up every day, you're excited about coming to work. And that's the best advice I can give people is have fun in life. And I'm having fun.
You know, like multiple days, I think we were just overwhelmed with just the blessing of what he brought to the program, and Coach Young as well. She's awesome. So no, it was a great senior year, and I couldn't ask for anything more, honestly.
Coming in, we had a lot of expectations, we had a lot of hopes, and like we talked about before, we gave Coach Gould a list of different criteria that we wanted in a coach, and Coach fit everyone plus some. I mean, I could not have asked for a better coach to end my senior year.